सुसेगाद दंपार पळोवणाऱ्यांक म्हजो मायमोगाचो नमस्कार. हांव फ्रँकी फर्नांडीस, मेलबर्न, ऑस्ट्रेलियाचो तुमकां ह्यो गोंयच्यो आनी भायल्या देशांत रावतल्या गोंयकारांच्यो खबरो कोंकणींतल्यान पावयता. आज ऑगस्टाची 2 तारीख. सुरवातेक खबर हांगा ऑस्ट्रेलियासून. नवोच निवडलेलो मेंबर ऑफ पार्लमेंट फॉर मॅकफर्सन क्विन्सलँड आमचो गोंयकार भाव लिओन रिबेलो हाणें पयलेच फावट ऑस्ट्रेलियाच्या पार्लमेंट हातून आपलें भाशण दिलें. आपल्या भाशणांत ताणें आपल्या आवय बापायक भरपूर दिनवास दिलो. तसोच ऑस्ट्रेलिया देश हाचो व्हॅल्यू राखून दवरपाक आपलें योगदान आसतलें म्हूण आश्वासन दिलें.
It is with deep humility and immense pride that I rise to deliver my first speech in this House as the newly elected member for McPherson. Not long ago, I sat in this chamber not as a participant in debate, but as a parliamentary attendant, a silent observer to the great conversations that shape our nation. I listened, I learned, and I grew in my resolve to one day add my voice to the legacy of our national story. Today, that day has come, and I rise with gratitude to my community, with reverence for this institution and our great democracy, and with a commitment to serve with integrity, energy, and purpose. My presence here today is a testament to our national character, that someone who once sorted mail in the basement of this very building can ascend from humble beginnings to define the future of our nation as a Member of Parliament. I'm proud to be the first to make this journey, but I sincerely hope I'm not the last. I feel blessed that I had a remarkable childhood. I benefited from a world-class education, a multicultural family that embraced a global perspective, the freedom to practice my faith freely, and the love and support of a strong family unit. My father's a tradie, an electrician and refrigeration mechanic. My mother, a dedicated public servant, still working in the service of her country to this day. To get ahead, they worked second jobs, took risks to invest in property and small business, and never questioned their obligation to stand on their own 2 feet. Weekends weren't for rest. They were for renovating houses for extra money and printing tickets for milk bottle deliveries as part of our family business. We were optimistic, not because we had wealth, but because we believed in effort. And when our hard work paid off, we felt pride in having earned the rewards. Together we supported each other as much as we relied upon one another. We were a family. My upbringing was a traditional middle-class Australian story. It was grounded in values of personal responsibility, self-determination, and respect for the institutions on which Australia was built. As migrants, my parents never let a day pass without reminding me to hold a deep and profound gratitude for all that Australia made possible. I stand in this place because of their quiet patriotism, and because they raised me to believe in Australia, in her promise, and that service in her name is a tremendous calling.
लिओन रिबेलो हाच्या आवय बापूय गांवांत वेर्नेची आनी ताचो जल्म कॅनबरा हांगा जाल्लो. ऑस्ट्रेलियाची इलिसांवां मार्चच्या 4 तारखेक जाल्ली. खबर रोमाच्या व्हॅटिकन शारांतसून. पाप साहेब लिओ 14वो हाणें गोंयचो पात्रीभाव जेजुईट संस्थेचो फादर रिचर्ड डिसोजा हाका डायरेक्टर ऑफ व्हॅटिकन ऑब्झर्वेटरी म्हूण नेमला. फादर रिचर्ड व्हॅटिकन शारांतसून आमचे लागीं उलयलो.
Today I'm very honored to be appointed by Pope Leo XIV as the next director of the Vatican Observatory. As you may know, the Vatican Observatory is one of the oldest astronomical observatories in the world. It was founded in 1891 with Pope Leo XIII, who spelled out the mission of the observatory in his motu proprio ut mysticum writing, that everyone might see clearly that the church and her pastors are not opposed to true and solid science, whether human or divine, but that they embrace it, encourage it, and promote it with the fullest possible dedication. Today, the Jesuit astronomers at the Vatican Observatory continue to be faithful to this mission, studying a wide variety of fields from stars, meteorites, galaxies, to the large-scale universe of cosmology and right back to its very beginning, the Big Bang, seeking to understand the complexity of the universe and life beyond the solar system, and offering a crossroads of dialogue between science, theology, and the rich tradition of the Church. On one hand, I am aware of the many high-profile Jesuits who have held this position in the past and have paved the way for the observatory's success today. I am truly standing on the shoulders of giants. On the other hand, I understand the great responsibility entrusted to me of guiding the Vatican Observatory at this critical time, so that the speculo, as it's commonly called, continues to serve the Pope and the Universal Church, promoting this dialogue between faith and science through solid scientific research. Please keep me in your prayers, as well as the other Jesuits astronomers working here at the observatory. Thank you.
दुसरी खबर, कांय आमचे गोंयकार भाव USA ह्युस्टन टेक्सास हांगा बेकायदेशीर रावतात ते सद्याक गंभीर परिस्थितींत सांपडलेले आसात आनी तांकां मदत करपाक गोंय सरकार फुडें सरला, सांगता गोंयचो NRI कमिशनर ॲडव्होकेट नरेंद्र सावयकर.
आमचो जायतो गोंयकार लोक हो सगळ्या कडेनी रावता आनी त्याच बरोबर USA सारक्या कंट्रीन सुद्दां रावता. आनीक गोंय NRI कमिशन हें आमचे जो गोंयचो डायस्पोरा आसा सगळ्याच कडांनी तांकां सदांच मदत करपा खातीर आमचो हाजीर आसता. जेन्ना इश्यूज येतात ते इश्यूज आमी घेवन ते फ्लॅग करतात, थंयचे एम्बसी आसत, हाय कमिशनरेट आसत, तेंचे मुखार व्हरतात आनी थंयच्यान आमचे जे गोंयकार लोक आहात तांकां गोंयकार लोकांक आमी मदत करपाचो यत्न करतात. आतां USAन जे आसात, USAन अश्यो कांय केसी येतात की जे USAन फॉर सम रिजन्स हे आमचे गोंयकार भुरगे अडकतात. आतां द रिजन्स आर समटायम्स पासपोर्ट इज एक्सपायर्ड, विजाचो इशू आसा, पासपोर्ट रिन्युअलाचो इशू आसा. हे इशूज जेन्ना आमचे कडेन येतात तेन्ना आमी गोंय NRI कमिशन हे इशूज थंयच्या कावन्सिलेटा कडेन आमी रेज करतात आनी रेज केल्या उपरांत तातूंतल्यान तांकां सोल्युशन मेळोवन दिवपाचो यत्न करतात. पूण हें करता आसतना आमच्या गोंयकार लोकांनी सुद्दां एक जतनाय घेवपाक जाय की आमी जेन्ना थंय आसता, दुसऱ्या देशान आसता तेन्ना थंयचो कायदो जो आसा तो आमकां लागू जाता. सो आमी आमच्या इंडियेच्या कायद्याच्या आदाराचेर आमी थंय काम करपाक शकना, जाल्यार थंयचे कायदे जे आसात ते लागू जातात. आनी तेका लागून आमचे गोंयच्या लोकांची थंयचे आमचे पासपोर्ट रिन्युअल आसतले, थंयचो विजा रिलेटेड इशूज आसतले, थंयचे एनफोर्समेंट रिलेटेड इशूज आसतले, हे टायमार त्यांनी जर सपोज अप्रोच जाले, त्यांनी टायमार रेज केले जाल्यार ते रिजॉल्व करप सोंपें आसता. आनी म्हणून हांव सगळ्या कडेन मागतां की आमचे गोंयकार लोक जो आयज USAक आसा, USचे थंयचे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कांय इशूज कांय डिसिजन्स घेतात, तेका लागून तांकां कांय प्रस्न निर्माण जावपाक शकता. अशा टायमाचेर तांकां हांव अपील करता की त्यांनी आमचे कडेन संपर्क सादचो, गोंय NRI कमिशनाच्या वेबसायटीचेर वचचें, थंयच्यान तांणी आमकां मेल बरोवची. पूण हें सगळें करता आसतना एक गजाल मात हांव परत सांगता की ते टायमार करचे. आमचो आपलो जर विजा एक्सपायर जालो, आपलो पासपोर्ट एक्सपायर जालो, तो रिन्युअलाक गेल्लो आसा आनी थंयचे जर सपोज एनफोर्समेंट थंयची मशिनरी जी आसा ती जर सपोज कितें अडचणी करता आसत, ऐन टायमार खंयचोय प्रश्न सोडोवप कठीण आसता. आनी तेका लागून अशा टायमाचेर आमी त्यांच्या कायद्या भितर रावन जे कितें प्रश्न सोडोवपाक शक्य आसा ते आमी सोडोवपा खातीर सदांच यत्न करतात. तातूंत आमकां जायत्या टायपार यश आयिल्लें आसा. वी हॅव बीन सक्सेसफूल. सो हांव सगळ्यांक अपील करता की आमच्या गोंयकार लोकांनी ह्याची जतनाय घेवची आनी डेफिनेटली गोवा NRI कमिशन ऑफिस इज ऑलवेज विथ यू.
ह्या विशया वयर गोंयच्या विधानसभेच्या मनसून सेशनातून कुर्तोरेचो आमदार अलेक्स रेजिनाल्ड लोरेन्सो हाणें मुखेलमंत्री प्रमोद सावंत हाचे लागीं हे गोंयकारांक आदार दिवचो म्हूण आश्वेसन मागलेलें.
जेन्ना तूं थिंग रावता यो इलिगल दे, पासपोर्ट एक्सपायर जाली, पुलीस क्लियरन्स हाडपाक गेलो काय ताका भितर उडयतले. So they have to be given. We have done 2-3 cases. We have managed Chief Minister उलयन आमी 2 cases and intervene करून 2 जाण हाडले. Directions may be given, especially Chief Minister बरोयनी वो आमकां जो तर एक हें करूं मेळटा, रिक्वेस्ट करूं मेळटा MA to allow them to travel. तेंगे जो तर कितें पुलीस क्लियरन्स आहा, कितें केस आहा जाल्यार तांकां अमेरिकन एअरपोर्टाचेर तांकां दोतले, नाजाल्यार इंडिया कितें जो तर इश्यू आहा जाल्यार इंडियन एअरपोर्टाचेर दोतले.
आनी आतां गोंयांतसून आमचो इश्ट जेराड डिसूजा चालू असलेल्या विधानसभेच्या मनसून सेशन हाचे बाबतींत आनीक अपडेट दिता.
We are nearing the end of the second week of the monsoon session of the Assembly. So what has happened? What important things have happened in the Assembly so far? Number one is a bill was introduced by the Minister for Revenue, Mr. Atanasio Montserrat, who is popularly known as Babush, to give an amendment to the Land Revenue Code to enable the government to regularize illegal structures that have been built on government land or on land that has been granted by the government. So what does this amendment to the Land Revenue Code do? It allows the government to carry out an authorization or a regularization of any unauthorized construction of a dwelling house that has been constructed before the 28th of February 2014 on land belonging to the government or land granted by the government in any manner whatsoever. Such house and land around it may be regularized by the Deputy Collector by issuing an order subject to certain conditions, conferring Class 1 occupancy on based on an application made by any applicant. This is of course a provision to regularize illegal structures that have been on government land, but it is not a blanket provision. There are certain conditions. The Deputy Collector is not allowed to entertain any application if the land upon which such dwelling house has been unauthorizedly constructed falls within the limit of either a protected forest, area declared as a wildlife sanctuary, area covered under the coastal regulation zone, no developmental zone, open spaces, areas covered under eco-sensitive zone 1, areas other than orchard land or cultivable land under eco-sensitive zone 2, khazan lands, road setback, so any right-of-way construction, or any land which causes obstruction to any natural water channel or any structure which is constructed by filling of water bodies. So this in essence is basically the gist of what this bill is trying to do. It was tabled before the Assembly and it is expected to be passed. The other things that have been happening in the Assembly is another amendment bill has been brought to enhance the fines for littering along Goa's beaches up to tourists, unruly tourists who are creating nuisance, hawkers who are creating nuisance, tourists who are littering, and any other such nuisances have been defined under the newly amended Tourist Places Preservation Act, and then violators can face fines up to Rs 50,000. The other things beyond bills, the other things that have happened in the Assembly include there was a discussion for the need for a master plan to preserve the heritage monuments of Old Goa. This was supported from across both sides of the ruling as well as the opposition, but the Minister for Town and Country Planning, Mr. Vishwajit Rane, has in his reply stated that there was no need for such a master plan for Old Goa, despite the opposition alleging that there were large-scale illegal construction, including that of farmhouses and hotels and eco-resorts that were being planned within the vicinity of Old Goa.
एक माझो मंत्र्याकडे आग्रह तो प्लॅन म्हणल्यार ताका एलर्जी कितें जाता तरी कळना म्हाका मास्टर प्लॅन म्हणटा तो कितें जाता आमी कित्याक मास्टर प्लॅन मागता इतल्या खातीर कित्याक जो तो आरपी म्हणटा ताच्या आरपीचे उल्लंघन जाता आनी उल्लंघन जाता हे ताकाय खबर आहा पंचायतीकूय खबर आहा एएसआयकूय खबर आहा आनी ताणें ऑब्जेक्शन घेतिल्लें आहा जुनान स्पीकर सर ओल्ड गोवा पंचायतीन एक कमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट सेंट अगस्टीन टावरा कडेन सुमित वुड्स म्हणटा ताका बंद केलो बिकॉज इट वॉज एनक्रोचिंग ऑन एएसआय प्रोटेक्टेड लँड पंचायत डीड सो दॅट मीन्स वायलेशन जाता जून ऑफ 2025 स्पीकर सर 70 इल्लीगल स्ट्रक्चर्स आसा म्हणून रिपोर्ट आहा स्पीकर सर म्हणटकर कॉम्प्रिहेन्सिव हेरिटेज मास्टर प्लॅन मागता आमी आतां हो मास्टर प्लॅन खंय घालतलो तूं आतां बाब कालदुसान सांगला ते भशेन हो मास्टर प्लॅनाक खूब तरेचे इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल कोऑर्डिनेशन जाय पूण घालतलो खंय तूं तो घालतलो आरपीन आतां आरपीचे डे टू डे चेंजीस जायत आहा सो यू कॅनॉट बी हॅविंग एलर्जी टू अ master plan. We should get another change in RP. No, 1 minute. We should just 1 minute. Minister, 1 minute. Let me just complete.
ऑनरेबल विजय
No, 1 minute.
आताच
Just
सांगला
let me
आहे की आम्ही
complete.
जॉईंटली बसून आम्ही वो विषय
No, I
we can take
will
it forward and we will
just
come out with
conclude.
what we want to do.
I will just conclude.
Yeah.
My contention is very simple. That the objective of the master plan is heritage protection and conservation. You have nothing against that. You don't have anything against sustainable development. You should not have. You want a clear regulatory framework where it is defined what is the ASI's role, what is NMA's role, what is town planning's role, what is panchayat's role. You want community engagement, which is what we are demanding. We want risk reduction and emergency response. These are part of the master plan. We want a world-class infrastructure, because what Rohan Khawte yesterday said about lot of tourists coming to Goa, to a large extent it was because of the exposition. You cannot say no to that, because your own government has said that exposition brought lakhs of tourists, 80 lakh tourists. So you cannot say that those figures are not because of the exposition. Then education, research and awareness, this is required, and speaker said regular monitoring and reporting. हे तर सगळ्यांत जातलें जाल्यार मास्टर प्लॅन गरजेचो.
Beyond that, other issues that came up in the assembly were issues of homestays, houses that were made, that were bought as second home, that were being illegally used as homestays, recruitment agencies illegally cheating people by promising them jobs abroad, the issues again of bringing a taxi app in Goa, which is still being debated and is not reached any kind of conclusion, but the minister promised that he would take all the stakeholders into confidence before bringing any such rule. And finally, there is the issue of dirios that were discussed during the assembly. Members from both sides of the ruling as well as the opposition sought for an amendment to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act that would allow for the holding of bullfights legally in Goa.
Thank you very much, Gerard D'Souza, for that update. गोंयचे 7 विरोधी पक्षांचे आमदार गेल्ल्या 2 सातोळ्यान खंयचे म्हत्वाचे विशय ताणें गोंयचे विधानसभेंत मांडले आनी तांचे परफॉर्मन्स कशें आसलोलें आमी विचारले आमचो इश्ट किशोर नायक गांवकर हाचे लागीं.
गोंय विधानसभेचे मॉन्सून सेशन सध्या सुरू आसा आणि ह्या सेशना भितर खुबशे गोंयकारांचे प्रश्न गोंयकारांचे इश्यूज हे डिबेट डिस्कस जायत आसात. 8 ऑगस्ट मेरेन चलपी हे मॉन्सून सेशन म्हटल्यार 15 दिसांचे कामकाज ह्या सेशनान जावपाचें आसा आनी त्या खातीर ह्या सेशनाक खूब म्हत्व फावो जाल्लें आसा. एके वाटेन सरकारचे 33 आमदार आणि दुसऱ्या वाटेन फक्त 7 विरोधक अपोजिशन म्हटल्या उपरांत खंय तरी विरोधक कमी पडटले काय कितें असो एक दुबाव लोकांच्या मनान आसलो. पुणून ह्या फावट ह्या सेशना भितर सगळ्या अपोजिशन आमदारांनी बरे तरेन आपली कामगिरी पार पाडल्या आणि बरे तरेन ते कामूय करतात, वेगवेगळ्या विशयाचेर सरकाराक जाप विचारतात आणि त्या खातीर खंय तरी कांय प्रमाणान थोडी उमेद ही लोकां भितर ही निर्माण जाल्ली आसा. आतां सरकारच्या विरोधान खुबशे विशय आसात, पुणून सरकारा कडेन 33 आमदार असल्या कारणान तो विरोध आणि ती टिका ही न्हयकारपाक नाजाल्यार इग्नोर करपाक सरकाराक इजी जाल्ली आसा. पुणून विरोधक ज्या तरेन ह्या असेंब्ली सेशनान काम करतात तांची तोखणाय करची पडटली. स्पेशली ह्या 7 आमदारां भितर सिनियर मोस्ट आमदार म्हणटात ते बाब विजय सरदेसाय आणि बाब विजय सरदेसाय हांचे परफॉर्मन्स ह्या मॉन्सून सेशनान आतां मेरेन सामके टॉप जाल्लेले आसा. आतां कांय डिपार्टमेंटाच्या संदर्भात म्हटल्यार TCP आणि TCP स्पेशली विजयबाब सरदेसाय आयज TCPच्या डिमांडाचेर ते सखोलपणान उलयले, पुणून खंय तरी एक थोडो एक विश्वजीत राणे हाच्या विरोधात स्ट्रेट भुमिका घेवपाच्या बाबतीत खंय तरी मातसो खंय तरी ते कमी दिसतात असो लोकांक दुबाव मारता. दुसरी गजाल लिडर ऑफ अपोजिशन युरी आलेमांव हांचे परफॉर्मन्स खूब सुदारलेलें आसा आणि बऱ्या तरेन ते आतां परफॉर्म करपाक लागलेले आसात, बऱ्या तरेन ते विशय मांडटात. मागीर RGPचे विरेश बोरकर हे नवीन असले जाल्यारूय पूण तांणी जे विशय ह्या विधानसभेन मांडल्यात ते खरेंच तांची तोखणाय करची पडटली. पुराय अभ्यास करून विशय समजून घेवन विशय मांडपाचो प्रयत्न ते करतात. स्पेशली आम आदमी पार्टीचे कॅप्टन विंझी वेगस आणि
क्रूज सिल्वा हे दोगूय जाण आपल्या तरेन खूब बरें काम ह्या विधानसभेन करतना आमकां पळोवपाक मेळटा. म्हटल्यार 7 आमदार खंय तरी अपोजिशनांतले डिवायड जाला काय कितें असो दुबाव आसतनाच ह्या 7 आमदारांनी एकठांय रावन आतां मेरेन जे एसेंब्लीन परफॉर्मन्स दाखयला तातूंतल्यान खुबशें समाधान हें गोंयकारांक मेळ्ळेलें आसा. पूण फक्त विधानसभेन उलोवन जावचें ना, आतां विधानसभा सोंपल्या उपरांत विधानसभा भायरूय लोकांचे विशय घेवन ह्या सगळ्या अपोजिशन आमदारांक रस्त्यार देवचें पडटलें आनी रस्त्यार देंवन लोकांक जस्टीस फावो करून दिवची पडटली.
देव बरें करून तुका बाब किशोर नायक गांवकर, तुवें आमकां तुजो मोलादीक वेळ दिलो म्हणून. तर ह्यो जावन आमच्यो सुसेगाद दनपार गोंयच्यो आनी भायल्या देशांत रावतल्या गोंयकारांच्यो खबरो मेलबर्न ऑस्ट्रेलियासून. मेळुया दुसऱ्या सोमानात, ते मेरेन मोगा संदी.